Today I'm going to give a couple of case studies of my retirement planner spreadsheet. It's a spreadsheet I designed based on a new retirement planning technique that I'm going to show you today. Before we get into the spreadsheet, I want to give you a very quick, brief overview of some safe withdrawal research, which is the basis of the spreadsheet. This is the probability of success over 30 years of a portfolio of 50% stocks, 50% bonds. You can see that the blue line is what we call traditional safe withdrawal rates, which is the concept that most safe withdrawal rate studies are based on, which is that you take an inflation increase every year. The red line is if you take no inflation increase. So if you start out with a 4% initial withdrawal rate, you just take the same dollar amount every year. And the target percentage is the idea that I presented in my article in the Journal of Financial Planning in January 2013 this year, where you only take the inflation increase if you satisfy the target percentage test. I'm not going to go over that. I'll go over it a little more depth in the webinar, but I just want to give you a brief overview. And you can see this is over 40 years. The probability is a little lower, but the pattern still holds. While traditional safe withdrawal rates, the probability falls off pretty fast. If you don't take your inflation increase in bad years, you can pretty much start with a 5 or 6% safe withdrawal rate and still be 85 to 95% confident of success over even 40 years. So my question was, how do I explain this to clients in a nice, easily understandable way? So I came up with this little table, which is again the basis of the spreadsheet, saying that you know if you can get yourself to retirement with a withdrawal rate of 4 to 4.4%, that's excellent, et cetera, et cetera. Now the retirement planner methodology, this is the logic of the spreadsheet. Every column in the spreadsheet has the same logic. All we're doing is calculating the withdrawal rate. It's not a theoretical withdrawal rate. It's the actual withdrawal rate. So you start with your living expenses, you add taxes, you subtract out your fixed retirement income, Social Security, defined benefit pensions, etc. You come up with a portfolio withdrawal amount. You divide that by your portfolio, and that's your portfolio withdrawal rate. So now I'm going to look at some case studies, from simple case studies to more difficult, more complicated case studies, I should say. Hank and Donna are both age 63, both retired, $650,000 portfolio. Hank's Social Security at 62 is $2,000 a month. Donna's is half of Hank's. Hank has a pension of $1,000 a month. Donna has a pension of $1,000 a month. Their living expenses are $75,000 a year. The question they come to me with is, will we outlive our money? So now I'm going to go to Excel and show you the spreadsheet. This is the spreadsheet, and you can see the data goes in the yellow boxes here, and it's very simple to code up. And for this couple, they're currently withdrawing about 4.1%, which is excellent. So my diagnosis for them is that they're going to have a pretty good chance that they won't outlive their money. Now you can play a lot of what ifs here. Let's just play little games here. Let's say we delete this data, say they didn't have those pensions. Well, now they're at 5.8%, which is a little farther up the table, a little less secure in the long term. Well, what can they do? Well, maybe they can lower their taxes a little bit, okay, and maybe they can lower their living expenses a little bit. So you can see the kind of games you can play very easily to do this. Now let's go to the next case study, which gets a little more involved. Joe and Jane. Joe's employed, and they're both age 65, $750,000 portfolio. Joe's Social Security at age 62 is $1,800 a month. Jane's is half of Joe's. No pension income, $75,000 annual living expenses. And their question is a little different. Their question is, when can we retire safely? And we call up their data. And what we're looking at here is 9 different scenarios. This is if Joe retires in any of the next 9 years. So you can see we start out with $750,000 in their portfolio. If he continues to work and they save $15,000 a year, they'll have $810,000 in the next year, and he'll be able to retire at 6.5. If he works 2 more years, he'll have $874,000. And this upper portion is just kind of a roll forward of the portfolio. You can see the sweet spot where they can retire is in this area, right around here, in about 4 or 5 years. And we also have a graph where we can graph this guy, and you can show it to him in a graph form. that in 2017, 2018 is where they're looking at their best years for a safe retirement. So we'll look at the next case study. Gets a little more involved. Bill is employed, age 60, Mary 58. They're saving $15,000 a year, $650,000 portfolio. Bill's Social Security is 62 is $2,000. Mary's is 50% of Bill's. No other pensions. They have $75,000 living expenses. When can we retire safely? Now, this is a little different because their Social Security hasn't kicked in yet. So for that situation, we have a little different kind of format for the spreadsheet. And the spreadsheet automatically conforms to the format each time you unload new data. And it also stores the data in the spreadsheet in many different scenarios as you want. So this scenario is one scenario. This is if they retired today. They have $650,000, but they would be spending their living expenses because if they retired today, that's what the box here means. And by the time they hit their, what I call their pivot age, by the time all their income starts, they'd be having a withdrawal rate of 10.2%, which is not very good. So we can look at what would happen if they retire 1 year later, and it gets a little better, and 1 year later it gets even better, and 1 year later it gets better, until you get to about here, they're looking pretty good. So they can retire about 5 years from now. So you can see how the retirement planner lets you know right away when you can retire very easily, and then you can play those same what-ifs with the data. Now the last case study is, let's say they have $350,000. Well, before we do that, let's back up the spreadsheet to assuming they retire today. And now let's say $350,000. And they keep on retiring. It's not going to quite get them there. Even this isn't going to get them there. So if you click it one more time, it expands to that format we saw earlier where because all their retirement income starts, we can transition to that other format. And now you can see that they can retire in about 10 years or so. But again, they're starting with a very low portfolio. And then we can graph them, see what that looks like. So you can see that about 2022, 2023 is when they can retire. So that's a quick overview of the spreadsheet. I'll get into it more in our February 7th webinar. I'll get into the theory and the demonstration of the spreadsheet in more detail at that time.